most common types in partnership is the 8 and the 2. So tell me about that combination.
Yeah, this is the kind of the classic, the yin and the yang, stereotypical matriarch and patriarchal roles, So this is the couple that does well because the lines are clearly drawn. One is the emotional from the heart, focusing on relationships and connection, taking care of the emotional needs. And the other is the pragmatic, tough, resourceful, kind of dealing with the material world. So I talk about this as like connection and control, right? So one of them is wanting kind of emotional connection. The other one is wanting pragmatic control. So this works fine when everybody's in their roles and that's working. What this doesn't work so fine is when suddenly something happens and there has to be a little crossover. The 8 has to lean into the emotional world, or the 2 has to suddenly become more practical. That can be really disorienting. The 2s can get very frustrated with their 8 partners because they seem quite hard-hearted, and it can be a thing. 8s are kind of famous for being able to just, kind of undervalue the emotional world. That can be something that happens. And 8s can get frustrated with their 2s who are so emotionally driven and so relationship based, and maybe kind of offering help when help isn't necessarily the best thing, because 8s are very sensitive to wanting the people they care about to be able to function independently. So it can be where there's almost a lack of respect between the two develops, which is of course hugely problematic. So that's what they have to look out for. The road back, okay, if you end up in that place where everyone's starting to kind of be maybe feeling a bit disrespectful towards each other, when 2s can remember the vulnerability issue of an 8, that can soften them. So, okay, yes, my partner is becoming very aggressive, but it's because vulnerability is being struck. Like that can be helpful. And when 8s start to understand the value of the emotional world, they start to see some value in what their partner is really focusing on, that can kind of bring them back into balance. So those can be some of the ways kind of back. But a lot of it has to do with, again, relaxing your own habit of attention so you can look up and kind of notice what's going on around you and maybe even assign some value to it instead of just thinking, I'm right, everyone else is wrong.
It's so easy to get stuck in that right-wrong paradigm, no matter what type you are.
Yeah, and I think, again, that any of us in our fixation, that's exactly what we're doing. It feels so threatening to not stare at what we're staring at that, feels like there's of course I'm right. It wouldn't occur to you to look up and consider what else could be true here. So.